EP4, and we have a really good team of panelists today and guests. For those who don't know what Drink and Click is, it's a social photography group, and we have chapters in 24 cities, actually 25 cities. We just added Tunisia. So we get together once a month and we go out and we teach photography and we socialize and we walk around and take pictures and compete on different challenges. I'm joined by Lotus Carroll. Say hi, Lotus.
Hello, everyone.
And an awesome group of panelists. Lotus, would you like to introduce the panelists?
Yes, I'll get the panelists and then we'll end with our special guest. How about if we just skip him and ignore him completely at first?
Yes.
We'll start off with Amalia Diaz.
Hey.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Tell us where you live and where we can find you on the web.
Well, I live in Austin, Texas. And actually, if you go to my profile on G+, there in the About section, you can find, the different pages where you can find me. Like,
You're pretty much in all the normal places.
yeah, Flickr, 500 pixels, and all that. Yeah.
What's your favorite place?
Instagram. My favorite, well, if we talk about like daily life, I love Instagram,
Okay, so you're an
Yeah.
Instagrammer. I'm always interested because different people have different things they're more into, so that's cool. I didn't know that about you.
I like
Well,
it,
thanks.
yeah.
Thanks for being on the show tonight.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Next up, we've got Joel Horwath.
Hey, I'm in Austin also, with I think the majority of the folks on the show.
Yeah, we stacked the deck tonight with hometowns.
But yeah, as you can see, all my prints are at joelhorwathphotography.com. I'm also on Google+. I just started getting more active on Flickr and 500px. Kind of a totally different experience. So I'm having to learn those ropes. But Google+ is pretty much where I'm most active.
Google Plus seems like the most blended of all, with a little bit of everything that you like and all the other ones. That's what my feeling has been so far, and I like all of them.
I think it's the interaction. It's just a lot
Yeah.
of interaction on Google Plus. So.
Well, thanks, Joel. It's good to see you again. Thanks for being on tonight.
Sure.
Next up, we have Natalia Stone.
Hi guys. Well, currently I'm in San Francisco and I've been here for about 6 months. Before that, I've been location independent for about 2 years, just traveling, photographing, and just enjoying life. And you can find me on Facebook and Google+, and also my website, nataliastone.com.
You've given up your nomadic ways for a little while to rest, huh?
Yes, kind of get tired of it after a while. It's pretty overwhelming. Not enough time to do pretty much anything else but travel and plan for traveling and photograph. But I'm hoping to pick up and get back on the road in about 3 months. So.
It's like a grass is always greener thing, because I think so many of us who are always in one place are just dying to live that life of traveling all the time and photographing, and you're like, man, I need to rest. I've been doing nothing but traveling all the time and photographing.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, yes. When you're traveling, you cannot wait for the downtime. When you have downtime, you can't wait to get back on the road. Like, I don't even know what's the golden middle. I guess it's just traveling slower, maybe?
Well,
I think maybe you're doing it. You're doing both. You're taking breaks and then getting back out on the road. That's awesome.
And I think with the traveling, it might be just finding a time to just sit down and edit the images you took.
Exactly. Yeah. And, other things in life get in the way, obviously. You still got to run the business and do other things logistically. So you're going to need time for that as well.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Glad you're on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to seeing some pictures from your most recent excursion later.
Awesome.
And finally, the last panelist before our guest is Richard, some call him Dick, Miller.
Hey, everybody. New York-based. I try and do some portrait work, try and do some headshot work. I'm actually doing a lot more headshot work now. You can find me on Google+. I also have a Smug Mug. It's richardemiller.smugmug.com. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And Richard is one of the leads on New York City Drink and Click chapter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have 3 leads over there, and if you ever go to New York City, you can probably send them a note and say, hey, I want to meet you, let's have a drink and show me the spots. And
hit us up.
Probably leads you somewhere.
Always looking for excuses to drink.
And I'm always looking for an excuse to come back to New York, so.
Cheers to
know. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. When I do make it back there, we will definitely have to do a drink and click.
We will.
Thanks
We'll
for
set
being
aside.
on the show.
Thank you.
And our guest tonight, who's going to be leading a discussion about film, is Chris Clements.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks for being on.
Thank you
Tell
very
us.
much. So I'm Chris Clements. I'm here in Austin, Texas. You can find me on my website, www.chrisnclements.com, Google+, Flickr, Facebook, and all the popular sites.
So we are all photo sharing social media whores, basically, all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of us.
It's good. It's good to be with people who get you.
So the fascinating thing about Chris is when he showed up at the Drink and Click, probably it's like 4 Drink and Clicks ago, here in Austin, Texas, and he showed up with this massive film camera.
You did this long pause after you said he showed up with this massive.
Massive.
I was like, am I going to get to say that's what she said?
Basically, John Brick.
Exactly. So he showed up with it, and everybody just dropped everything what they were doing, and they just went straight to the camera and say, "Oh my God, what is that? Let me know. Let me hold it. Let me see it. Let me caress it."
That's what she said.
Let me play with it. And actually, if you see the cover picture for the Drink and Click show tonight is his camera. It's just fascinating to see that you find people that go back to the roots of film and just making it work and making it really produce some really good results on it. So I was just fascinated because I'm not a film guy. I used to have a Pentax, which was my wife's, and I used to take a few pictures here and there, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I dropped the film on Walgreens, and they developed it for me, and I was like, oh shit, I screwed that up. So I didn't know what to do. I just followed a few dials here and there. So I figured it would be nice to have Chris on the show and just give us a few pointers of what to do with film and how to get back to the basics of film photography.
Absolutely. No, film is something that I've been doing for about 2 years now, and it's been a real treat. It's a big departure from the traditional workflow. It sounds really weird saying like digital is the traditional workflow now, but it is, right? So the reasons that I got back into film, there are a couple, but one of the biggest ones was that I realized, I took a step back one day and I said, man, I'm spending way too many hours in front of the computer, and I'm tweaking everything in Lightroom, and I don't know how to get it right in camera. So my personality is that I will jump in with 2 feet and make a change. So I did. I actually had a full Nikon Pro setup, a bunch of lenses. I sold it all, and I started to Google and educate myself on what was out there, what were the possibilities with film, especially medium format, and I arrived at my current solution. I was also really frustrated with some of the costs associated with digital. As I'm sure everybody knows, it's real expensive. And especially when you start talking about medium format, I don't have an extra $50,000 laying around. So when I realized that I could get into the same quality range in medium format film as medium format digital, I said I need to look at this seriously. And of course, I had the same reaction that most people did during that Drink and Click when I pulled out the camera. The first time I saw this sort of camera, I was like, whoa, what is that thing? It's different, it's new, you can do some really weird stuff with it.
It's like a phaser, it's like some...
Yeah, it's this weird contraption that like you look down and the image is reversed, and you're like, I've never seen that before. So it's definitely a conversation starter, if nothing else. But I
we lost.
Jumped in wholeheartedly, especially after I realized what kind of quality I can get out of my photographs on film.
We're getting the audio from Chris, but we're not getting. Oh, there you go. We got the video back.
Yeah.
Can you do us a favor? Can you show us your massive thing on the screen again?
Massive camera.
Well,
So,
that's a nice one. So this is what I shoot with currently. It is a Mamiya RZ67. It's a medium format camera, and I'm sure we'll talk about format here in a second. But some of the cool things about this camera, it's got a bellows focusing system. So it's got a true bellows system in it, which means you can get macro focusing with any lens in the range. It's got a waist level finder, so you actually look down at the ground glass. The image is reversed. And the nice thing about it is that it's got interchangeable backs. So I can have 3 or 4 different backs, different film types, black and white, high speed. And since I'm amazingly lazy, I don't have to turn the camera when I go vertical. I just have to turn the back. So I never have to adjust anything on a tripod.
That's cool.
Right?
That's
How cool
awesome.
is that, right?
I like
so
that.
fun.
So how do you learn once you get the camera? You of course you make a little research and say, what am I gonna buy? What am I gonna get? And how do you decide on that? And how do you learn about it? Because if I get the camera right now on Craigslist, I will grab it and go like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. Let me call Chris.
No, that's legitimate for sure. It's a lot of Googling. It's a lot of YouTube videos. The reason that I picked this camera was for the interchangeable backs and also the large film format. It shoots a 6x7 centimeter negative, and I have a diagram that I created.
Oh, very nice.
That will show you the size of that. That's what she said. The quality, basically, to get to the gist of it, when I scan in that 6x7 negative, I can get as much as about 100 megapixels.
Wow.
So, think about that, and think about the price point of less than $900 to play in that space.
So once you get that picture, how do you deal with taking the picture and then making it into digital and developing the film,
Sure.
and then scanning it, and how to make it be such a good detailed picture after you take it?
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple options. I mean, number one is obviously after you're done shooting the roll of film, you take it for development. I take it to a place in town called Holland Photo. Precision Camera also does good developing. There's also a lot of national labs that still do really good film work. And once you get the negative back, you can either have the lab scan in the film for you, or you can do it yourself, or you can send it to a third party for drum scanning. There's a lot of different ways to get it in digital format. If you're into quick and easy, you can have the lab just scan it to a CD for you, and you get your negatives back, and you get a finished CD of images back too that you can then put in the Lightroom, Photoshop, whatever.
So what kind of scanning you mentioned there? I didn't get the name of the kind of scanning that you say you can get it, whatever.
Oh, so you can do 3 types of scanning. There's traditional flatbed scanners, and these are like Epsons, Canons, that you usually have a film holder and you put your negative in there and you scan on your flatbed. That's what
one of those. That's what I used to do.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's the cheapest. It's the most easily accessible. The kind of next level up is a dedicated film scanner, something like a Nikon Cool Scan. They're still several $1,000s, so they're pretty expensive.
Wow.
But the detail you get out of that is pretty amazing. The ultimate, top tier, if you're going to print, a 75 by 50 inch print, I'm going to send this thing off to get drum scanned. And what happens is they'll cut the negative, and they'll actually wet mount it to a rotating circular drum, if that is even, if you can even imagine that. And you can get just incredibly detailed photos. Every ounce of detail that negative has will be captured. They also cost about $100 per scan. So you better be serious. You better be serious about printing, that image.
Yeah, you have to have a prize winner right there just to make it.
Yes.
Make it worth it.
No bathroom selfies with that one.
No.
It makes editing very easy. I have 10 shots to a roll, and if I pick one to scan in, that takes my editing time, way down. Which is one of the nice things about shooting film. I can look at the negatives and say, that one, and I work on one image.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Okay. Yeah, obviously the volume goes down, but that maybe is a good thing, a good exercise in choosing what goes in your portfolio.
How expensive is the film that you buy?
So I did this research 2 days ago, so I would be prepared to answer this. I shoot Velvia 100 primarily. Each roll is about $7.68 right now. So that's on the format that I shoot. It's about with scanning and all that stuff, developing and all that. It's about $1.64 per shot.
Oh wow!
About in that terms, like every time I click that shutter, I'm spending $1.64. Do I really want to take that picture?
I know. It makes you think. I think it makes you so much smarter just to have film and just have a limited amount of pictures you can take, and also thinking what you're really gonna print or develop. So you have to take a decision. So
that was one of the reasons I switched. I wanted to get better at self-selecting my best images, choosing what to shoot, and when I do choose to shoot, how can I make the best image possible in camera? Because you're forced.
So when you switched from digital to film, wasn't kind of frustrating at the beginning to see that maybe the images were not the way you wanted?
Oh yeah, and I recommend to people now making the switch, start with slide film. Slide film is one of the hardest films to shoot because the latitude is so narrow.
When you're saying slide film, which one are you referring to it?
So slide film is color positive film. So you can see I so happen to have a sheet of film right here, and you can sort of see it, but when I hold the light up to the back, you're actually seeing the final image when it's done.
Okay.
So you're not seeing a negative, which I think is a great teaching tool, because when you first switch to film, when you get it developed, that's your only cost. And if you screwed up a roll, you can see it right now without any additional investment.
Okay.
So that's why I recommend it.
Okay.
Plus the colors are better, the sharpness is better, etc., etc.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
So I had a question about like the processing. That with digital we invest all this time and we have a lot of control over the final result during the processing. What about film? I mean, I guess most of the control you have is during the shooting, right?
Some of it is, and with film, it's even more important to nail your exposure in camera, especially with slide film. If you're under or over too much, you've lost the exposure. But if you can get a good exposure on slide film, I actually have a hybrid workflow. I shoot on slide film, digitize, and then take it into Lightroom for further enhancement.
Oh, okay.
And typically, those enhancements are very simple. I'm playing with levels, I'm playing with curves, and I'm playing with sharpness, and that's about it. You can't do too much else. All the fancy Lightroom filters and stuff like that, they rely heavily on all that metadata that you're capturing with a raw file. I don't have that. So I can do simple adjustments to make my image better, but I can't go crazy.
Okay, got it. That's interesting.
So the other question I had, go ahead, Natalia, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to ask, do you feel like you grow as a photographer because you're so limited?
Absolutely.
You only have 10 shots per roll. So especially when, say, I don't know how much you travel, but if you go traveling, how do you logistically handle that? And you can only bring so many rolls of film.
pack a lot of film. No, I mean absolutely. You nailed it. With limitations, limitations breed creativity. Basically, I have found that I'm much more selective. My qualification for shooting an image most of the time, drink and click events probably the exception, but I'm evaluating it based on, would I want this image hanging on my wall? Would I sell this image? Would I sign my name on this image? And it's a complete departure from most people shooting digital, and I do miss the proliferation of the work in digital. I miss having a ton of shots, but it's absolutely made me a stronger photographer by having to choose and make those decisions on the fly in the field.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
awesome.
I just, since you mentioned about exposure, I'm wondering, so like say you want to, use film in terms like fashion or portraiture and stuff like that. You've invested in, strobes and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't, actually, I don't know, but you might not. I don't know if you can really use like the strobe functionality that you have with, like an Einstein or an Elinchrom or something like that with a film camera. So would you have to then, rely on natural light or constant light or HMIs and stuff like that?
To the contrary, this camera is ideal for portraiture. It's big, it's heavy. The whole setup is about 12 pounds. So it loves to live in the studio. I love it when it lives in the studio. I don't have to lug it everywhere. And no, if you know how to use one of these and you use it properly, you can absolutely get some of the best images out of film in the studio. I have some examples if you guys would like to see, but it's amazing what you can get in the studio.
Please show us.
Sure.
You should have like a screen share pause, like elevator music type that goes on. Like, in that awkward moment where it's like, sure, let me hit this button.
Let me get that for you.
Hold on just a second.
Can you guys see my desktop?
Yes.
Or Lightroom?
Yep.
Okay, so studio stuff that I've done that has been really successful. We'll start with maybe some still life stuff here.
Oh, wow.
Some orchids.
That's awesome.
And I love this film because it's like all of my color and my contrast, it's done for me. I don't have to mess with that. If anything, I'm pulling back the saturation of the color.
Oh.
If that's easy to believe or not. But this is actually a low-res scan. Let me see if I can pull up my... Yeah, this is only 2,000 by 2,500 pixels. My normal scan is about 8,500 pixels by about 10,200 pixels. If that makes any difference. So really large images. Here's more studio work. We can fast forward a little bit here. More portraiture. So yeah, in the studio, it's totally reasonable. I mean, anything that you can do in digital in the studio, just about, you can reproduce with film. This is one of my favorite images, and you can. This is the bad thing about working with such high resolution. You have to wait a second. Lightroom doesn't really know what to do with that.
At least I know that I'm not the only one who has to sit through the loading. Do you ever want to pull your hair out? I hate it.
Yeah, and this may not even load in a reasonable amount of time, but if you do notice, what we're zooming into up here in the left-hand corner is a very, very small portion of the image. So just speaking to the resolution that you can get out of this film.
That is amazing. Yeah, that is amazing.
It's amazing.
There you go.
And I'm tired of waiting, so we're gonna.
The photo itself is amazing. That's a wonderful photo, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Chris, I have a question. I know that you talk about the back of your medium format camera. Why can you tell us more about the back of it? You twisted it, and if you're taking landscape or portrait, but how do you switch it, or why do you switch it, or what are their
so the really nice thing about film that most film photographers aren't going to tell you is that we cheat too. I can switch out my back for a different film. Yes, of course. I can shoot high-speed black and white. I can shoot slide film. I can shoot negative film. But I can also shoot, and one, you've seen this, Polaroid. So if I'm in a tricky exposure situation, I can shoot a Polaroid and know what I'm going to get before I expose the $1.64 per click, film.
That is just awesome that you can just switch it and just go different options right
Yeah,
there.
it's fun, number one. Like, you can have whatever film you want. You essentially choose your sensor. And I can get confirmation that I'm doing the right thing. And if I'm not doing the right thing, I'm not blowing a whole roll.
Yeah. And I think we're getting a few questions on the chat. Lotus?
Yeah. We've got a couple. Tom Chamberlain asked whether you ever have optical prints made, Chris.
I've never had an optical print made. Yeah.
On your to-do list?
Yes, absolutely on my to-do list. I am currently printing through Holland Photo digital files through their Chimera printer. I'm really happy with the results, but I would love to make a large print in the darkroom optically to see how that stacks up.
So there's always still more new things to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A.D. Wheeler said, why switch to film? Why not do both, all? And he also said, I think I know the answer, but I would like to hear the answer. So.
For now, it's the right thing for me. I love digital. I mean, I absolutely adore digital. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing what it's done for photography. For right now, for me, this was the right switch because I wanted to become a better photographer regardless of medium, camera, equipment, etc. I'll definitely be in a hybrid solution back and forth between film and digital, I think probably within the next 2 years.
Right now you are exclusively shooting film then?
I'm shooting film, I'm shooting iPhone.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Crap, I forgot what I was going to say. So you always use you always use your meter. Every time you shoot, every time you're in a drink and click, you pull out the meter, you measure everything, and I know what you do it, but what should we look for on a meter? If you want to go buy a meter and get one and just watch, how should we use it? How to get into that?
Sure. I mean, a meter is going to be an amazing tool regardless whether you're shooting digital or film. I got, of course, this is my personality, I got the best of the best in terms of the meter. I like this meter because, everybody's seen, you go up to the model and you use the little dome and you hold it next to their cheek and you take a reading. This meter has the ability for me to look through this spot meter and meter portions of the scene. I can point it at the sky or at that cloud or at those rocks or at that stream and know exactly what that portion of the scene is going to read on the meter. And that helps me determine what a good exposure is going to be for the film.
How much you pay for that thing?
That I picked up used. I picked it up for $400.
Okay.
There are less expensive meters out there for sure.
Okay.
You said it really fast. $400. My wife's listening.
Yeah,
I got all used. It was all used. It was good.
As long as it was used, baby, it doesn't matter how much it really was.
So how about
the BMW is used? The BMW is used. It's okay.
So how about the people that are shooting crop sensors on digital and they say, I don't have the money to go full frame. This sucks. I can't afford the $3,000 camera. What should I do? Maybe I have to look into film options. What would you recommend they do, or what are the good options?
Well, I pulled some prices because I knew that would come up. So for this camera, which you see right here, this setup, the lens, the body, and the viewfinder in the back, you're looking at about $812 in really good condition. Okay. So you say, okay, maybe I want something a little nicer. Go to Hasselblad. Hasselblad 500C, $887 for the equivalent.
Really?
But you say to me, Juan, or Juan, you say to me, Chris, I need to take this person to dinner, and I've only got $500, but I still want the camera. I can get you into a medium format Mamiya 645 for $394.
Really?
Yes.
But you have to meet him in a dark alley to bring along with you.
So how about if you don't want to get into medium format and you say, hey, my crop sensor, maybe I go into a 35 millimeter simple.
Something like this is probably what a lot of people are used to seeing. This is a 35 millimeter Canon AE1 SLR. These can be had with lens for $200.
And they can just be doing that and maybe using a meter and then just shooting full format right there and just get.
Absolutely. I mean, most of the 35 millimeter SLRs are going to have meters built in, so they don't need an external meter.
Excellent.
It's really easy.
I love all this stuff. I think I'm gonna make the jump and just purchase something, some medium format, and try to get really good with your training, maybe, if I buy you a few drinks.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe shoot some really cool portraits with it, you know.
Yeah, portraits are amazing. If you've got it in you to lug it around outside, great. But if you're just doing portraits with it, it's super easy.
That'll be awesome. That'll be
So,
awesome.
I bet you could do some great portraits with them, one of those ones.
Oh yeah.
So what was the main turning point for you where you decided that, okay, I'm going this route, I'm not going to shoot digital? Like, what was it? What was the moment that...
I think two things happened. I was shooting a Nikon crop sensor camera, and I said, I really want full frame. And I looked at the $5,000 price tag or more on a brand new Nikon, and I said, really? Really, we're gonna do this? Like at $5,000? Is this gonna happen? And I said no. And then I shot with one of these, and I saw the negative. I saw the scan. I said, I can get, $20,000, $30,000 image quality from a digital, medium format for, 1-2% of the cost. So it was just a no-brainer, and it would make me a better photographer. It's a done deal in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome. Yeah.
When you say that, when you say make you a better photographer, I think the way I think is digital initially made me a better photographer, because if I started out with something like this, I would go through, thousands of dollars, and maybe I didn't learn anything because I could only take 10 shots at a time, whereas digital lets me take hundreds, and then I can go through and see, oh, okay, this is where I messed up, and it didn't cost me anything. And so I think for anyone who's looking to get into film, it might, if they're not, already shooting, it might be recommended to go to digital first and then film, to learn, I guess, the basics, and then to fine-tune it in film. It seems like to make that switch, I don't see somebody switching from film to digital so much as I see somebody who's been shooting digital switch to film.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's a great point, and I completely see them as complementary to each other. It's about the right tool for the right job. My recent trip to Zion in the Narrows proved that I made the wrong decision for bringing what tool I did. I brought my big camera. I hiked the Narrows. I didn't bring it out once. So it's all about the right tool for the job, for sure.
Right. So, yeah, if you were, say, a sports photographer, switching to this camera wouldn't necessarily make you a better photographer.
No.
Don't do it. Bad idea.
Find something very still.
Okay, well, really a lot of great information, Chris, and it's been great hearing about your experience so far. And it's going to be fun seeing you progress and see you switch back and forth in the future. We have the pleasure of actually having you here in Austin, so we can harass you some more.
Oh yeah,
later.
Absolutely. Happy to share any information I have.
Awesome.
Sweet. Well, we're going to move on to seeing some of the work of our panelists as well tonight. And does anybody particularly want to go first? Joel.
Okay.
I think I saw you waving your hands.
What? I haven't done this before. Where's the share?
I
I was gonna say cue elevator music.
I know.
Screen share. Can you see it?
Yeah, there it is.
So last night, Juan and I actually went to shoot a concert, and there's a local newspaper that has these concerts every month, and a lot of times we'll go out and shoot, and it's kind of an intimate setting, which is unusual I think, for concerts, and so I try to jump on it every time we get the chance. So this is actually a few shots. I think most of them are from those concerts. There may be a couple in there from South by Southwest, but you can see that this is with a fisheye, so obviously I'm pretty much in his crotch right here.
It's really great. I love the balance of the two yellow lights at the top, and then him in the middle, and that like a burst of red right in the middle of his guitar. It's really nice.
Yeah, and he's a great performer. It's always fun to shoot, you know, animated people that move around and give you some goofy faces, things like that. Something like this. This is another one of those concerts. I don't recall the name of this band, but she was wild. And this is, I almost couldn't even pick which one I wanted to share of her, just because I had so many that were very similar to this, but crazy. This was actually at a drinking place. And the theme, I think, that month was red, and I think I forgot to submit this photo for the contest. So shame on me, but what an interesting girl. I think half of her head is actually shaved, and just beautiful voice, just interesting person. This was from last night. I can't remember her name, but I don't remember. Juana, do you remember?
Leslie? I don't know.
Yeah, up close and personal. I mean, we were. There's been times, I think, when Juan has been up on the stage with these bands. I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, I mean, they give us kind of free reign to shoot.
Her name is Charlie Faye.
That's it.
Yeah.
And this is Macklemore. He's kind of become popular these days.
Yeah.
This was at South by Southwest, and got to bring a camera in and shoot a lot of the concerts there. Went to see him twice, actually. I may have another photo of him from one of the other concerts I went to. But he puts on an amazing show. If you get to go see him, I recommend it. Another one of Shaky Graves, right up in his face.
His face?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one. Go back.
Yeah.
Likey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's... I think I'm pretty much on stage at this point.
Yeah. and you actually... Go ahead.
Right up in his armpit this time instead of his crotch.
Yeah, exactly.
and you forget to say that this events are actually free drinks, free food.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free drinks, free food, free live music, and these are, you know, amazing musicians.
Yeah.
Shaky Graves, this guy here, he's, you know, climbing the charts at least locally, and you know, I think like Texas music.
Yeah.
Lotus, you might know who he is. You probably know him.
No, I don't.
And this is the venue. Juan, there's that flash that we spoke about last night.
Yep.
And that's the other Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. That was another show of theirs. Actually, that looks like the same one, but yeah. So I'm always been into concert photography, and definitely something I love to do. Would like to do a lot more. What's that?
I said, what a nice opportunity to get some really nice, like you were saying, an intimate setting to get some really nice shots. You did a great job. They're very beautiful, Joel.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, man. It's good to see what you've been up to.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. How do I get
Amalia. Amalia, can you show us your work?
Sure.
Next, please.
Sure. I have some variety of stuff, but I will start with start screen share. Let's see.
That is beautiful.
I know what that is.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything. Okay.
Nice.
So it's good that our friend Dick is here. you know, a local to see this. So this was this past summer in July. I went to New York for a few weeks. And I just wanted, you know, to capture the environment and also the car here and the people. So that was part of the idea.
On the Brooklyn Bridge there.
Yeah, I'm sure the Dick is very happy about this.
As many shots of
That's
the
what
Brooklyn
she
Bridge
said.
I've seen, that is one of the most beautiful I've seen so far.
I know.
That's
It-
awesome.
I've never seen that angle. That's great.
the Dicks approve.
This dick approves.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy now. Okay, this is from here. Juan was there actually. It
Yes.
was like a balloon flight here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And I found really nice, it was sunrise, so the light was really warm, and that with the kid looking at that, and this woman like, holding the balloon. So I really like that moment.
Yeah, it was nice.
This is also in New York, in the rain room at the moment.
Oh, nice. You actually got to go.
Yeah, so it's a really good set to take pictures because you have the light, you have the rain, and people who got in, they don't get wet, so it's perfect. They don't look wet in the picture either. So,
I love that red.
So you
Yeah.
didn't get wet.
no, I wasn't. I was outside. It's like a studio. Imagine that. It's like a lot of rain, but it's artificial, so people get in and they don't actually get wet.
So
And
you
there is
you just took pictures of other people getting wet.
Yeah.
exactly.
So, Dick, do you like wet stuff?
Oh, I love it when it's wet. I mean, you can't really do anything when it's dry. I'm just saying, it's so dull. I just want them drenched, just like soggy.
I love the red on the dress, and
Yeah,
you were able to.
The shot is amazing.
Yeah, it's very nice, Amalia.
No, thanks. And this is also there in New York. Well, I was at Bryant Park, and I thought this was like a good way to show the environment. Typical New York lunchtime.
Yeah.
People go to have lunch in a park and reading the New Yorker.
That's a great
Yeah.
that's a great composition right there. That's excellent.
Yep.
Thanks.
And the pop of red
And-
again.
Oops, sorry. What did you say?
And that pop of red again is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a
And-
sense of place. Just not even showing the skyline or the city. The sense of place that you get from that was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is also in New York. This is actually in Central Park next to Bethesda Fountain.
I was about to say
Um,
that.
Yeah, so I saw, this family there, and the light was really nice. I don't know, I called it nativity because it brought that image to my mind, and they were so sweet to the baby, and the colors in the back also, I really liked them.
It's a very beautiful, candid moment. And you're right, this scene is beautiful just inherently with the colors and the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
The light is really nice too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, light was really good. And well, this is here in Austin
Of course.
during the Eeyore's birthday. So it's a perfect place because everyone is, willing to pose and they are having fun. You're having fun. It's perfect. So I found this pair of unicorns, and I think it illustrates perfectly what is Eeyore's birthday. Young people having fun, costumes, yeah, just
and the whole park smells like pot,
yeah, exactly.
which is which is okay.
Yeah. And this is in Spider House actually during a drink and click. Also, I just chose this because I really like to kind of play with light, like to try to capture the environments of places, and I think drink and click is a really good chance to do that because we go to these places with weird lights. So yeah, and Spider House is a really particular place.
Yeah, it's a fun place.
It is.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm very drink and click.
Oh well, this is here at St. Edward's University. is
Nice.
the new science building actually during a photo walk over there, and it has this really nice curve, and the orange with the blue in the sky. I really liked that combination.
It's really compelling, like with the lines, all the different lines and the colors and the shapes.
Yeah.
That'll be a perfect spot for a portrait. From that, the curves and the colors and everything.
And what else is there? Well, I just
like
like the
that.
moment.
Oh, what a great
I like that.
Yeah, it was during the super moon night. And, everyone were looking for the moon, like this guy in red. But the couple, they didn't really care about the moon. So.
I actually think that guy's name is Dick.
Well, that guy looks like he's concentrating on a different moon. He's.
Oh, he's definitely looking for a moon, all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
Those are great.
This is an iPhone photo, actually.
How was it that I wouldn't have known if you hadn't said it.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I like the black and white. It looks like, ancient picture.
I was gonna say it looks like something from like the 20s or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is Times Square during a rainy morning. Lots of umbrellas and colors.
Awesome. So when was the last time you went to New York City?
It was in July, actually, like
Nice.
2 months ago. Yeah.
Amalia, these are very nice pictures.
Thank you so much.
I think you should share them more often.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people get afraid of resharing their stuff, but think of whatever you post. You have only a lifespan of maybe an hour, and then they go away. So wait another 4 or 5 months and then reshare them again. I mean, those are wonderful pictures. So.
Okay. Thank you, Juan. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
we're going.
Amalia.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, thank you.
So let's see some work from you, Dick.
I know.
Alrighty. Let's try and figure out how this thing works. Okie doke. Can you guys see?
Indeed.
Okay, you can see. Alright, so this is just a quick set of headshots I did for this one girl that we met. Funny story. We were actually out on a photo walk, and we went to this restaurant. This girl comes up. She's just like, there's a good 10 of us. All of us have our photo gear on the table. We're taking over half the restaurant. She's like, "Are you guys photographers?" We're just like,
"Gee, we just stole a bunch of shit."
Just like, "Yeah, I think so." She's like, "Oh, do you do headshots?" The entire table turns around and stares dead at me. I'm just like, yeah, of course I do. Never did a headshot in my life.
You've come to the right Dick.
Yeah, this is the right Dick to get you a headshot. But so went through and did these with her. Not too long after that, I actually ran into this designer.
Click on pick one of them and make it bigger.
Hello.
You want me to make it? You want me to make it bigger?
Can you make it bigger for me?
Which one do you want me to make bigger for you? I can make them all bigger for you.
There you go.
This one.
Yes.
Let's see. I know there's a way that I can make this like full screen. There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So met this woman on the train. It was funny because I was looking at her because she had this like interesting style, and I wanted to shoot her. But I didn't have my camera on me at the time. I was coming back from work, and I'm looking at her. I'm just like, I really want to shoot her. And I'm like, whatever. Get to go on the train. She comes up to me. She's like, "Do you model?" It's like, "No, but I'm on the other side of the camera." She's like, "Oh, I'm looking for a photographer, blah, 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 blah." So we started talking, and we set up this shoot for her stuff. Oops. Yeah, she has some interesting, to say the least, work, but it was a fun shoot nonetheless. And some of the stuff I don't understand, but that's not my job to say anything. something that I'm working on now is actually, if you're familiar with Plus One magazine.
Yeah.
So they had their call for submissions this month, and the theme for the second iteration of the magazine was home. Yeah, and so it got me thinking, because I wanted to do a shoot based on the idea of home and what home really is, and since I've been going through this struggle trying to determine what home is for myself, I thought it was kind of a play on the adage, home is where the heart is. So I kind of turned that into home is where she is, to try and capture that lost sense of this is what you're missing out on. This is what you put somebody through when you're out and you're on your own and you're still trying to figure out what that home is. But that home is something that you've left behind. It's there. It's real, and it's affecting somebody else. So I've only gotten through two shots in the series, but I'm doing some more this weekend actually.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your stuff.
No problem. If I can get back to,
So
I have no idea what I'm doing.
we're sharing. We're going with Natalia. I'm anxious to see what she got from that weird trip. Maybe you got a cool picture of Trey Ratcliffe wearing hot pants.
Yeah, if you don't have that, if you don't have the goods on that, we're gonna drop you out of the hangout.
Oh, damn it. All right.
There you go.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so yeah, I recently went to Burning Man, and it was a crazy, crazy experience. For those of you that don't know, it's about a week long festival in the desert in Nevada, and it's full of art and parties and everybody going crazy. It's just unbelievable. So this is one of the art pieces. It's called The Temple.
That is awesome.
And this was actually in the middle of the night, probably at 2 in the morning. I was standing there, and it's pretty dark in the desert. I mean, there's no lights except for the art pieces and the art cars. So everybody has to wear glow sticks or headlamps or other things that will light you up. Otherwise, somebody can run into you on a bicycle, and that probably would not be a good experience. So people were walking into the temple past me, and I did a long exposure and captured the moment of them walking in. So I thought it was pretty cool. I would usually spend the whole night just biking around and photographing. So it was quite a strenuous experience, but you can kind of sleep during the day because it's really hot, but not really.
You just don't sleep the whole time. Just admit it.
Yeah, you just don't sleep the whole time. So this is another shot from Burning Man. It was a pretty dusty day. Like, we actually got pretty lucky this year with the weather, but still had a couple of dust storms. So a lot of photographers kind of go in and hide the cameras, but I guess I'm a little crazy. I was out biking around, and I really love the silhouettes right at sunset, especially if there's some dust. So that's the Burning Man. That's actually the structure that they burn. And the piece of art that just says "Believe," and people were climbing on it. It was pretty cool. So another shot. This was at sunrise, and I saw this couple walking, and I thought it was pretty cool that they're actually able to walk. So they walked pretty far, like all the way from their camp across the playa, which is probably about a mile in radius. So, so just, I guess, to see the sunrise.
Wow.
All right, so that's my stuff from Burning Man. I recently got back, so I only got a chance to really post just a couple of pictures.
Yeah, I love the one with
Yeah.
belief in it. I love it. I love that.
This is the reason why I want to go to Burning Man next year.
Yeah, bucket list for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's an amazing experience. It was my second year. I would say that just take it easy the first couple days and drink a lot of water, because You get so dehydrated, you don't even realize, but you're just done if you don't take care of yourself the first day.
Well, I would try to see if I can hire Terry Ratcliffe to train me, just to see if he can tell me what I need to do and what kind of clothes to wear. I know he likes short shorts and hot pants, so I might just go with that. So.
Hey, there are 2 reasons to go to Burning Man: stuff like this, and Trey Ratcliffe and those hot pants.
Yeah. I cried when he moved away from Austin because I couldn't like camp out and like look through his window anymore.
I have a couple more pictures. I don't know if we have time. Not from Burning Man, but just from some night photography that I've been doing.
Yeah, sure. Maybe 2 more, and then we go to Chris.
Okay, cool. So this is from this is actually Crater Lake from this past April. And the pink in the sky is not light pollution. It's actually the northern lights. Nice. They came really far south. So myself, Michael Bonacore, Toby Harriman, and Casey McAllister got in the car last minute, drove for 8 hours, spent the whole night there photographing, and drove back.
That's so rad.
It was a crazy trip, but I didn't see much with the naked eye, but the camera picked up a lot of the pink. So definitely can't wait to go back to Crater Lake and the winter, hopefully catch another one. But it's rare for the northern lights to come so far south. Usually it's up in like Seattle and British Columbia and like more north.
That's a nice thing over there. You drive 8 hours, you're somewhere. Here in Texas, you drive 8 hours, you're leaving.
Still in Texas. Yeah. So that's from another trip. It's the Milky Way, an abandoned cabin, and in the background, I don't know if you can see, it's Mount Shasta up here in Northern California. So just ever since I moved from the East Coast, there's so much to explore up here. I mean, all the national parks, the coast, everything is just amazing. I love living in the West.
So Natalia, on that picture on the bottom part of the house, is that just a natural light you picked up, or is that something that you tried to?
No, that was a natural. I mean, it wasn't a natural light, but it was light from a street light.
Awesome.
There are some houses in the area, so it was actually quite far, but the camera was able to pick that up. So.
What ISO are you shooting at right there?
Oh, I would have to look at the settings. It was probably, usually I shoot the Milky Way if it's really dark, about 3200. If there's no moonlight, you kind of have to crank it up to get the stars in.
Okay. I need to try that. I haven't tried that.
All right, so should I switch back?
Yeah.
Yes, we're going back.
30.
Thank you, Natalia. Those were amazing.
Yeah.
I always love seeing your images come through my stream. You have such beautiful work.
Oh, thanks, Lotus.
So we're going with Chris. Chris, you have some pictures you want to share from your recent trip?
Yeah, I can absolutely share a couple. This will be a sneak peek of what's to come. I'll only show a couple here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is Bryce Canyon. It's incredible. And of course, this is shot on the medium format, so you can zoom in and see, everything, which is great. Here's another shot. My favorite part of this shot, and this was a complete accident. I didn't see this when I shot it, but there's these 2 little signs right here that are just chilling. They're friends. They're just hanging out in the middle of the wilderness, and it's amazing. Yeah, just more Bryce Canyon. Just a really beautiful, amazing place. It's just breathtaking. Even though the weather didn't really cooperate with us that much when we were there, just really raw.
Oh, I like that one.
Just incredible.
Very much
beautiful.
Yeah, so there's that's kind of most of the film stuff that I'll share right now. I will share a tidbit from the Narrows, which was absolutely crazy. I'm going to do a write-up on it on Google+, but just really an incredible hike. You know, everybody should do it once in their lifetime, but don't do it the way I did it.
Oh, yeah, with your heavy gear.
Yeah. So.
I need to get my ass out of Texas.
Where do you usually take your donkey when you travel?
Oh, he froze?
That's for you, Juan.
There you go. Say it again?
I said, where do you usually take your donkey when you travel?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, and on that, we're going to move on to announcing the winners from our August challenge, the 4 elements.
Yeah, so we have our top 3 images, and the first image is gonna win. I just dropped my mouse. Black Rapid strap, and the first place winner. Drum rolls.
Wait a minute, are we going to start with 3rd and move our way to 1st?
Well, we can go to 3rd. Yeah.
Let's do it that way.
Let's go to 3rd.
Let's do it that way. Let's get our 3rd place, then our 2nd, and then our 1st. So our 3rd place winner.
Yep, and she wins Trey Radcliffe, $20 off from Stopping Customs. It is Mackie.
Yay.
And I'm gonna butcher her last name if I can, or somebody help me.
Do we just want to hear you say it? Go for it.
No, I can't even read it. I don't have glasses on.
Maki Silverberg.
There you go, that one. And then we got 2nd place from Drink and Click Japan, and he wins CT Digital Photography subscription for a year. And here's the
Holger Ferruti.
Holger.
Yep. Yep, and I think that was awesome when I saw that picture with the 4 elements and that's air and they're just jumping or hanging. I think they were hanging somewhere. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool picture. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
And we got 1st place.
1st place winner.
From Austin, Texas, and they win a Black Rapid strap, and it's Daniel Taylor.
Woo!
Yay!
Represent Fire.
Yep, and I thought it was very nice, and I saw him when he set up this picture, and he was working on it for like 20 minutes.
You got the flame, you got a spark, you got some bokeh.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so got a little bit of everything. So congratulations, Daniel, and I will bring your strap next Drink and Click. And I think we are close to
That's
getting the View Bug year membership, right?
We're going to ask a question. I think my video is out of sync again, but that'll be okay. We're going to ask a question. It's something that Chris mentioned when he was talking earlier. And the first person who is on our event page who answers the question correctly in the comments will win a year of ViewBug. So, the question is, how many shots per roll did Chris say he was limited to?
Good question.
Let's see who's going to answer the question correctly first. And if we run out of time, we'll give it just a little bit. If we run out of time, we will still wrap the show, and we'll call it later. So we'll just see. Nobody, come on.
There are people posting.
Man, I must not be that memorable.
Oh, mine's you didn't do a hand flourish when you said it, so it's all like in one ear and out the other.
So while we wait for the answer, if anybody wants to know a little bit more about Drink and Click, you can go to our website, www.drinkandclick.com, www.drinkandclick.com. And then you can look at the chapters we have in your city. We're about to open a newsletter, so if you sign up for it, once we have it up, then we can send you an email and let you know when there's an event around your city. And if you would like to lead a chapter, get in touch with us at drinkandclick@gmail.com, and then we can set something up. And
I believe we have a winner, by the
we
way.
got a winner.
Double check for me just to make sure, but it looks like Mark Hungate answered the question correctly first.
Let me see. Let me refresh.
Does anybody else have the event open? Gino Barraza guessed 1,138, and he was so
That was
close.
Yes.
But
Yeah, Gino.
not quite
Gino,
on.
you were so close. Oh my God, where is it?
Somebody who hasn't had as many drinks as Juan, help me figure out what's your...
Mark.
So
Yeah,
Mark,
Mark.
looks like is the first one.
Mark's the first one, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mark Hungate.
Congratulations, Mark. Yeah.
With the answer, it was 10 shots per pool.
I
And
know.
Mark, we will get in touch with you, and we'll get you set up with your year of free ViewBug, a place to do the most awesome photo contests with the best judges. So.
Exactly. So, well, thank you very much. Thank you all the panelists for being on the show, and thank you, Chris, for being the guest and teaching us some about film.
Thank you, Chris.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys got something out of it.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And thank you, Lotus, for being back with us and helping me run this show.
My pleasure. I am nothing if not your sidekick, sir.
And we are going to post a link tomorrow on different Google+, Facebook, everywhere, so you can watch the show if you missed it. But thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully you join us next time.
Yeah, thanks everybody in the chat. You guys were fun.
I know. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.